What's up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms, BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, um, Threads. I had to think about it for a second. Threads, uh, BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, YouTube channel BrandonJaneauShow. I had to actually think about that shit for a second. Um, Yeah. Let's get into it, man. Tonight is wrestling life. Now I'm gonna do what I did last year. I gotta write down the wrestlers, but I'm gonna do my wrestlers so far in 2023. I think I did it, but I can't fucking remember. So I'm gonna write down my wrestlers in 2023 so far, who I think is great, who I think, who's my favorite wrestler so far, 2023. That is coming soon. I'll probably do it this next week. I was like this weekend, but I was like, ooh, there's a couple games on. I can't really do that. But um, yeah. So I'll be doing that next week sometime, and it'll be out next week, hopefully. So my 2023 top 10 wrestlers so far of 2023. I know I did my matches, but I never did that. So let's get into it. So, but today's episode, I just want to talk about certain things that have been going on in wrestling because I haven't touched on wrestling in a minute on my podcast. So last Friday, yeah, last Friday, the great one came back. The Rock came back to wrestling. He came to SmackDown. It was in Colorado last Friday night. John Cena closed out the show. The Rock opened this show. So tell me that that isn't one of the greatest damn wrestling events you ain't never been to. You, um, The Rock came back, man, and again, here's where I get pissed off with people. So The Rock, before he goes to SmackDown that night, he says on the Pat McAfee show that day that um, he was supposed to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, and he's down to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. And I've been one of those people that have been driving the bus of I do not want to see Roman Reigns versus The Rock, especially if it's going to be for the title. What in the fuck? We already have a part timer named Roman Reigns. Why the fuck are we gonna give The Rock a belt just so we can have another part timer named The Rock? It doesn't make any sense. Do I think The Rock is gonna come back to wrestling now? No. Especially if this writers actor strike is about to end. I don't think he's coming back to wrestling because now he's going to be full swing back in acting. What I do think is this: it was great to see him, amazing to see him, but I do not want The Rock to fight Roman Reigns. Am I down this hill? But if they're fighting for the title, I don't want to see it. If they're just fighting straight up just because they want to, if they're fighting just to be tribal chief, which I've been saying that is the bloodline storyline really is about trying to be tribal chief, not trying to be champion. If Roman does drop the belt or he says, you know what, I'm gonna just relinquish the title because this is more important to me, is to beat The Rock to prove I am that guy. I am the tribal chief. This is mine. I am the head of the table. If that was the case, then yes, have that match. But if Roman is still the champion going into WrestleMania 40 and he beats The Rock because he's not going to lose The Rock, if he beats The Rock, what the fuck did you do with Cody? What are you doing with Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes came back to be the WWE champion, not the World Heavyweight. He came back to be the WWE champion. And you literally said, this is more money, so we're going to go in this direction. Then what the fuck did I just come to WWE for if you get The Rock and you just decide to just throw me to the wayside? The fuck is the point? If the plans is for Cody to fight Roman at WrestleMania 40, let the plans be the plans. The worst thing they could do is do this shit. Have Roman versus The Rock, but say this is just for Tribal Chief. But have Cody versus Roman at WrestleMania Night 1. Excuse me. So what the fuck do you do with the World Heavyweight Championship? Because that does need something. What is going to open the show? And that's the thing. I don't know how this works, and I think that WWE needs to figure that out. But fans need to stop pushing this, and I think we need to stop pushing this. I don't want to see it. If Roman drops the belt at some point before then, or relinquish the title by then, great. But if not, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see the match. I don't want to see the match. I'm good on it. I'm good on it. Because Roman will keep the title, and then what? He gonna drop the title to Cody Rhodes at Backlash? Like, what the fuck was the point? So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's a good idea. Nope. Um, Speaking of WWE, there's been a lot of cuts going on in WWE. We knew it was coming. You know, they finally merged with UFC. They're now called the TKO company, which um and so WWE made some cuts last week, and it was more so about their backstage. Now they made cuts to the actual rosters. Um, some names that got released today. Emma, who just came back like literally a couple weeks ago, like a couple months ago, she just came back. She got cut. Her boyfriend, Riddick Moss, he got cut. Rick Boobs, he got cut. Elias, he got cut. Top Dollar, who also just came back like literally a couple months ago, he got cut. Um, Aaliyah, who won the tag team titles, they got injured. Always was talking about coming back and never came back, and now she's fired. Um, and Shelton Benjamin, Grizzly vet, but he got cut. He got fired. And Dolph Ziggler got fired. 9 names in total got fired today. Let me explain. Okay, so Emma, Aaliyah, they really didn't have anything for Emma. They really fucking didn't. Um, I really do think they really didn't have anything for Emma. They brought her back kind of just to be a jobber, and they didn't know what to do with her. And that was a wasted Triple H pick, Triple H signing, when he probably could have signed somebody else, completely somebody else. He could have got somebody that really could have helped that women's division. Hell, you could have went and got Naomi or Sasha. Like, you could have tried to get one of them back, but instead you didn't, and that was just a wasted signing. It really fucking was. Aaliyah, um, I think she was a victim of circumstance. I think she got caught up a little bit too damn soon. If she was still in NXT, I think she could have flown behind under the radar. It probably could have been an NXT champion by now. The NXT Women's Champion, not right now because Becky won as a champ, but she could have at least been on NXT and formed a faction or something in NXT. Instead, she got kind of booted to the. She kind of got booted to the. She got pushed up to the main roster too soon, and you saw that she got it got pushed up to the main roster too soon because they had no idea what to do with her. They put her in a tag team. She won the belt and then got injured, and she hadn't been on TV after that. And then she kept teasing she was coming back, and now she's fired. So I don't think they knew what to do with either one of those women. They kind of just, I really do think Aaliyah kind of was literally just pushed up to the main roster too soon, and that at that time was a Vince thing because Vince liked her, and Vince always does that shit where he kind of like pushes somebody up a little bit too soon, and you kind of like, why are you doing this? Like, it is just, But hey, same there with Rick Boogs and Riddick Moss. Riddick Moss, after he lost, after he stopped being Baron Corbin's understudy, I guess. That's pretty much what they were trying to push him as. After he stopped being Baron Corbin's understudy, they had nothing really for that dude. They tried to continue to push him. They kind of tried. That was a Triple H guy in NXT. He was trying to give him something, but it just never fucking worked. Nobody really related to him. He became a jobber, and after a while, he just wasn't on TV, and it made sense because he just wasn't good. Um, Rick Boobs has the ability, but it's just like Elias, who also got cut. It didn't fit. It doesn't make any sense. Like nowadays, the content Elias at least had a character. Rick Boogs had no character. He was like literally a '80s rocker. He had the strength, he had the ability, but it just felt like his character was dull as shit. And then you put him on on Raw. If he was on SmackDown, you probably could have made it work. The fact that you put him on Raw, it didn't work because you had Elias, and Elias is also a guitar toting person trying to be a rocker, I guess. But Elias got fired. Elias could have had a lot of chances in WWE. When they did the Ezekiel shit, it was over for him. As soon as they changed your character, like as soon as they changed your character, Vince changed your character and made you Ezekiel, you should have known writing's on the fucking wall. So, and when they finally tried to switch it back to Elias, it didn't. It just was never gonna connect again. So, because you made him switch a character, like you made him become a completely different fucking dude. Like, yeah, it was already over for him. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he got fired. Top Dollar did this to himself. I'm gonna be honest. Like you will read certain things on Twitter and how he was really being behind the scenes of WWE. I don't like to see a black man get fired, but at the same time, if you did the shit to yourself, I ain't got no sympathy for you. If you really was causing a lot of destruction, a lot of confusion behind backstage and all of this shit, like you were, because here's the thing: the entire hit row didn't get fired. Just you got fired. Which, by the way, I think B-Fab got fired last time, and then Hit Row got fired. So I don't know if these them two are also gonna get fired. But if I was WWE, I would be actually smart enough to put like a Ryan R Truth as the leader now Hit Row and make R Truth now the leader of Hit Row and probably take him out this goofy ass character because R Truth is like 50 and still can go. So I would actually do that. I would actually push that narrative, but because they need a leader. They need a guy that's not like that. But yeah, I don't know. But now Hit Row could be getting fired. The entire Hit Row now. I mean, it was on the first day of cuts. And yeah, Shelton Benjamin, thank you for the second run, but I don't think they really knew what the fuck to do with you. They put you in a tag team with Chad Gable and then broke you off up very fast. Um, yeah, I don't think Shelton Benjamin was used properly, and they didn't know what to do with him. They could have literally put him in the. They could have literally created a faction with him, Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman when Brock was there, but they didn't do it, and I don't know why. But hey, do you think? Dolph Ziggler getting fired, it sucks, man. Dolph is definitely one of. If you are a wrestling fan, Dolph is one of your favorite wrestlers. Because the man can just go. He's a seller. He can go. I think WWE just fucked up capitalizing on him as such. When they had opportunities to capitalize on him, they never capitalized on him. And then after a while, he just became a jobber. He became somebody that was just there. And I think that's the worst part of that whole situation is that you didn't really know what to do with him. And the talent that Dolph Ziggler has, hopefully he does land on his feet. Maybe he does go to AEW. Maybe he does go to TNA. Impact, I'm sorry. Or maybe he goes to New Japan. Who knows? Um, or maybe he comes back and just goes to NXT because he could work with NXT talent and enhance them. Or maybe he just comes back and just be behind the scenes. Depends on if he wants to still wrestle. So it really does depend on that. I don't know, but it's gonna suck to not have Dolph Ziggler there. But they really had nothing for him, and I'd rather see him go to another company and actually work his ass off and show that he still can go than the not have any chance in WWE to be a champion again. So I'm happy that they did let him go because if he still could go and he could still put on them classics like he used to, WWE's gonna regret that. WWE's gonna really regret that. Again, no big names. I mean, these are all people that we kind of assumed that was kind of probably get released when they did merge with this company. No big names, nobody that really left, nobody really, no crazy names, no Drew McIntyres, no LA Knights, no, you know what I'm saying? No crazy name that really has been released. And that's a good thing for WWE. These are just guys and girls that we wish would have got more push, but at the same time, we're kind of like, this makes sense. It makes sense. And then like, it makes sense. Um, yeah. And last thing I want to talk about on the wrestling side of this is this. Um, so speaking of releases, something else that got released today, not just wrestlers, but networking. SmackDown is going back to USA Network. It will be back on the USA Network next year, October to be exact. October 2024, the USA Network will get SmackDown. Um, but this is the crazy part because now Raw and NXT is leaving the USA Network, and I don't know what the fuck's about to happen because I've not. I've seen Raw leave USA one time in my life. Um, it was on at the time TN TNA, I think it was called. Yeah, TNA Network, which eventually turned into Spike, which is now Paramount. So, TNN, some shit like that. And that was the last time USA actually the Raw left the USA Network. Um, I think you could. I don't know what you do with Raw. I don't know because I know people are gonna want it because Raw is the flagship show. It is a flagship show. But this is the dilemma that now it runs. Do you put Raw? Because I saw one company that I was kind of like, that'd be interesting. What if Raw goes to ESPN? And ESPN this season has been testing Monday Night Football on ABC. And you do have also, if you're Raw, ESPN Plus. So what if Raw goes to ESPN and they move football to ABC? You have two, yeah, competing, but at the same time, they're two different things. And if you're Raw, you also will have just like football is or ESPN Plus. You can get football if you're somewhere. You go because I was watching YouTube TV and I was watching it, but I have ESPN Plus. So if ESPN does get Monday Night Raw, what if Monday Night Raw stays on Monday nights, but they put it on ESPN Plus and have all of the content go to ESPN Plus because they don't really need to go stay on Peacock if they're not a part of NBC Universe anymore. So they could take that and put it on ESPN Plus. And ESPN and WWE have had a really good relationship the last couple of years. So it could definitely happen. I would not be surprised. One thing about Raw is it's going to land somewhere. Now NXT is really where I think is going to be the most interesting question. Is the most interesting thing because if you're NXT and you're the new company TKO, do you decide to move NXT to Wednesdays or keep it on Tuesdays? And what I mean by move it to Wednesdays is like move it to like a network, like move it to a real network like Fox or NBC, a network that kind of need that Wednesday window. They need that Wednesday thing, and I don't know what the fuck comes on Fox or anything. Or hell, like I remember when Fox used to. I remember when SmackDown used to be on My 20. Like that's how. Remember that shit? When SmackDown used to be on My 20. Like what if they do that? What if they go to the CW and say, "Hey, you have no content on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. How about we just give you the SmackDown, NXT? Now you have a Smack NXT for Tuesdays. You pulling in ratings on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on what you want to do." because the CW is now starting to scramble for shows and damn self. So I can definitely see all of that. I can definitely see all of it. I can definitely see all of it. Um, balling on, man. To the rest of the got released today, man. I hope I see you soon in other companies. Uh, and I can't wait to see what WWE does because this is just the beginning. Raw and NXT are now up for grabs, and nobody knows where they're going. And on top of that, like I said, SmackDown is going on the USA Network, and we don't even know what day it's going on. We don't know if it's going to be on Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, Mondays, or Tuesdays. We don't know. Shit, they could do some slick shit and put NXT on Saturdays. It like, would there be some whole ass shit if they do that shit like NXT on Saturdays? Yo, now that I'm thinking about it, NXT could be on Saturday. Yeah, holy shit. Like, think about that. Yeah, yeah. But then you have to think about the networks that you're trying to get into. You got to think about the network. But I could definitely see NXT moving to Saturdays. I could definitely see it. Yeah, I can see it. Put it on FX. Yep, FX on Saturday nights. Yeah, I can see that shit. Oh shit. All right. Well, Raw's the only one I could probably like. I'm like still like questioning it. Like I don't know where the fuck that goes. But yeah. Anyway, all in all, wrestling is still moving. There are gonna be more releases. There are gonna be more things going on, and when they are, I will be back on here. Fastlane is coming up October 7th. Yeah. And I'll be back for the rate and review show for that. Until then, I am Brandon Janeau. This is Wrestling Life. Peace.